I'm hungry for excitement.
Mouth, meet the amazing
watching the Weather Channel for accurate forecasts at your convenience. Weather you can always turn to.
Tim Conway's back, and he's hauling in a whopper. It's Dorf Goes Fishing, this year's funniest comedy home video. Let Tim Conway, as that master sportsman Dorf, show you everything you've always wanted to know about fishing. Go back in time to man's first fishing method. Let Dorf show you what to wear, how to clean your day's catch, how to get in shape, the joys of fishing with your spouse. Plus important boating and safety tips. Dorf Goes Fishing is guaranteed to be the funniest fishing video you've ever seen, and it's not available in stores. So what are you waiting for? Call and order Dorf Goes Fishing today. Call now and you'll get Dorf Goes Fishing plus this official Dorf floating keychain absolutely free.
For rush delivery, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-247-7979. The funniest, the most outrageous Tim Conway at his very best, Dorf Goes Fishing. That's 1-800-247-7979. Or send $19.95 plus $4 to the address shown on your screen.
Let's look at your tropical update right now, and here are the latest numbers as of 8 o'clock. The 11 o'clock numbers, I guess they're almost in. Let's see, Dave. We have the latest numbers. Thank you very much. Dave Schwartz just handed me this latest information, so while you're looking at these numbers, I'll give you the latest ones. At 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, the center of Felix, 35.3 north, 72.9 west, about 150 miles east of Cape Hatteras. Felix has been nearly stationary over the past 6 hours, and steering currents will remain weak, so that there will be little movement expected and little strengthening. Let's see if I can find the pressure here. Now has gone up, I believe, 1 millibar to 969 millibars. And hurricane warnings are still in effect from New River Inlet, North Carolina to Chincoteague, Virginia. And 75 mile an hour. The winds have now come down, Dave has informed me, to 75 miles an hour. A minimal hurricane. If the winds drop any further, it could become a tropical storm. But we are expecting possibly some strengthening as it moves over the warmer waters of the Gulf Stream. Water temperatures there about 85, 86 degrees. And that could help fuel the storm, give it a little more energy, and possibly make it a little stronger. We'll have to watch that situation very carefully. Here's a satellite map put into motion right now, and you can see the bands of orange and red show you where some of the heavier thunderstorms are. Now, in a really good, well-defined, strong hurricane, you have all these convective bands wrapped right around the center very tightly. You're not seeing it in this case. It's hard even to find an eye right now. Center of circulation located right about there, it looks like. You can see for yourself it's really not moving. It's more or less stationary. And as Dave Schwartz mentioned earlier, we've mentioned many times the Weather Channel tonight, where will it move? North, south, west, east? We're not sure it's not going to go back east. That's one thing we're positive of. But how long will it take it to move inland? That's the real question. The best computer model we have says that maybe by later on Friday it could move inland somewhere around the North Carolina-Virginia border, and that's our best guess at this time, our best educated guess. We'll have to keep tracking it very carefully for you. As mentioned, once it reaches the warm Gulf Stream waters, it could intensify just a bit, and that could happen by daybreak or sometime during the day tomorrow. Here's a radar picture. Bands of heavy rain, most of them well off the coast. You can see it for yourself. Center of circulation somewhere back in this area with heavy bands of rain, at least 75 miles or so off the coast of the Carolinas, off of Cape Hatteras. Hurricane warnings, hurricane watches still in effect as you see it here along the coastal areas of North Carolina up towards Delaware. And further north to Manasquan, central coast of New Jersey, we have tropical storm warnings in effect at this time. As we see how far out the winds go, they go out very far. It's a very large hurricane. It's one thing it has. It's not strong, but it's large in size. The tropical storm force winds extend out 200 miles plus from the center. Hurricane force winds extend out about 100 miles. So once this hurricane does move inland or start to move inland, even if it's weaker, even the weaker 75-mile-an-hour winds are going to last a heck of a long time. It's going to be sort of slow to move. Strike probabilities puts the center of the storm coming on shore again in a day or so somewhere in the Carolina coastal areas or extreme southern parts of Virginia. Storm surge could be 5 to 8 feet in that same region. High tides, well, let's see here now. In a few more hours around Hampton Roads, Cape Hatteras, 12:33 a.m. And, of course, adding in all the strong waves and winds is going to cause some problems down there with tides well above normal. As a matter of fact, high surf advisories from Merrimack River all the way down here to the coastal areas of Florida. Of course, swimming is not recommended or surfing for the next several days, really along the entire East Coast. And this is another very interesting feature to look at. Way at the top of your screen, you do see Hurricane Felix. But right here, this is a very strong tropical wave crossing across the Virgin Islands and the Leeward Islands right now. Martinique down here reported over 7.25 inches of rain today, and it's still raining there quite heavy. And there is some signs of a close circulation. We'll have to give you more information about that by daybreak tomorrow. It could turn into a tropical depression during the daylight hours tomorrow. We'll just have to keep watching it very carefully. But it's a very strong tropical wave moving off towards the west. Here's your forecast for low temperatures, first of all, for tomorrow in the northeast. 60s and 70s for the most part, warming up into the 80s and a few 90s. You can see the rain Norfolk southward caused by Hurricane Felix tomorrow. Into the south, we're looking for low temperatures around 75 to 80 degrees, much the way it's been the last several weeks, much of the summer. 100 Century Mark Atlanta tomorrow, Charleston 101, Little Rock 101. Very few clouds and very little rain to cool things down. Into the northern tier of states, it will be cool in Duluth at 63, but still quite warm in Chicago tomorrow morning at 74, up to 91. A few scattered showers and thunder showers around. If you want some cool weather, Seattle 54 in the morning, up to 65 with showers in the day. And the Four Corners area continue with the summer monsoon season.
Smucker's Simply Fruit is 100% Smucker's quality fruit, as in completely and
shot just south of here by about 20 to 30 miles. This is on the Hatteras Island across the Herbert C. Bonner Bridge down at the Pea Island National Wildlife Refuge. A lot of erosion going on to the dune line there. This is an area that oftentimes gets flooded due to nor'easters or hurricanes. Anytime you have a strong east to northeast wind, Highway 12 seems to go underwater there. In this case, it's effectively closed off Hatteras Island, and it remains closed, Highway 12 does. So nobody gets off and nobody goes down there until we get Felix out of the way. And from what you guys, what I can hear you guys saying, Felix may be around for a while.
Jeff, we've been talking about the slow movement. Two questions, I guess. One, how many people that you know of actually did evacuate from the Outer Banks? And two, those who did evacuate, what's your sense on the way they might be feeling if they hear that this thing's going to be around for a while? When people evacuate, they typically would expect to return pretty quickly. What do you think if they can't come back for a while?
Well, I think the locals, just about all of them, not all of them, but most of them, probably stayed here and decided to ride this one out. It being a Category 1 storm at this point and actually weakening now down to 75 miles per hour on the latest advisory. So the locals are already here. The people that evacuated, for the most part, maybe a few locals, but mostly the tourists, those were the mandatory evacuations, and just about everybody has taken off at this point. Now, to answer the second question, unfortunately, a lot of those people spent a lot of money on summer vacations, and they would like to come back. They may only be a few miles inland. They may be watching right here tonight and wondering when they can come back and resume their vacations here for the end of the week. But if Felix is still out there in a couple of days, that may not be possible, depending on what the local authorities decide, if Felix weakens or whether the surf's still too bad or whatever. But I'm sure they're not feeling very happy with Felix not wanting to go anywhere.
And Jeff, certainly the economic impact is always a concern, but certainly a bigger concern is always saving lives. And a lot of people want to get back to the beaches even farther up the coast in Maryland, Delaware, and even New Jersey. Some of the people probably pulled out and pulled away from the coastline, but we can't reiterate, this is a Category 1 hurricane. and it means business, and there's no reason to get back to Cape Hatteras and the beaches at this point.
No, there is no reason to come back here. I mean, to have a sunny summer vacation that you might expect, it's just not like that here. I mean, you saw that watching me throughout the day today and into tonight. At times it rains. There hasn't been a lot of rain, but it's very windy. You get sandblasted on the beach anywhere near the sand. And that ocean is spectacular, but there's no way you can go anywhere into it at all. And it's going to take quite a few days, I would imagine, for it to start to calm down. So I would say that right now it's not Chamber of Commerce weather, that's for sure.
Okay, Jeff, we're having a bit of a problem with the audio, probably compounded by the high winds there in eastern North Carolina. Jeff Morrow reporting live from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We'll check back with him in about another 25 minutes. We want to, and certainly this raises the fears of more beach erosion in the area as the water coming under some of those stilts holding up the buildings. The curious did wander out to the ocean side to see the effects of Felix, having a lot of powerful strength there out over the Atlantic. Up the coast of Norfolk, they were preparing for the possibility of Felix arriving over the next couple of days, boarding up the homes, even some sunshine earlier today, but that has certainly been eroded as certainly the sun is set, but the clouds have rolled in, and we don't expect a whole lot of sunshine in the Norfolk, Virginia Beach area tomorrow, as well as the Outer Banks. Let's talk now.